Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. And the journey continues today on March 23rd, 2021 at approximately quarter after 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, thank you so much for joining us. Hope we get a big thumbs up from you. Subscribe to our channel. Okay, so you can get the rest of the videos as they come out. We've got a lot going on, and a lot got accomplished today that we were not expecting to get accomplished, although we were hoping to. We've got a number of different videos. We were asked by a number of people to put a lot of different information out. So we've got right now 4 different categories that have come out. And this is one of the biggest reasons for subscribing to our channel. On Sundays, we're putting out a video series on spirituality, explaining to people the similarities between the different religions and different spiritual belief structures. Not so much the differences, not so much, we are certainly not going, this one's wrong, that one's wrong. We're simply pointing out how they are similar. Okay. And how, with that similarity, we can actually create a world that is actually running smoothly. Odd concept, we know. Okay, on Mondays we're dealing with business and the way that I work my business. Now I run a sole proprietorship. I'm the only person working in it right now. But I've got it laid out where even where I've already got the superstructure laid out for when I get to be a multi-conglomerate. So I've got corporation headquarters, and rest assured, unless somebody comes up with a better idea on how to do it, I certainly will not be going in as a corporation. I do not agree with them for a lot of reasons, but they're my own personal reasons. I've got another one that I'm putting out usually on Thursdays on Races of the Worlds. Various alien races, technologies, the way that their whole situation runs, how it pertains to Earth. Now, I deal with, in that series, I deal with off-worlders, as in races that originated off of Earth, and the ancient races, which are races that evolved on Earth. And rest assured, humans are not the only actual sentient race on the planet. And then, of course, daily we have the journey, which is our wandering through the day. It really, in a lot of ways, for me, the journey is the one that really helps just keep things organized so that we can see the progress. Okay, now we've talked about the figures we work with. If you look on the shelves in the back here, we now have the top shelf here where the white figure is. Those are all characters that I've personally painted. The ones on the shelf just down a little further, those are ones that I bought that are pre-painted. Okay, the other stuff is being moved as we get along to it. Okay, as soon as we get it worked out, it'll go. Now again, the whole issue of this series is helping you stay focused on the idea of how do you attain personal success. Well, like we said, 4 words. I am worth it. It took me a while to figure out where I put it. It was laying right in plain sight. Over on that wall there, I have a hand-carved, and if you go back through my earlier videos, I've got a hand-burned sign that literally says, I am worth it. If you're having problems with your own outlook on yourself, those 4 words are extremely potent in trying to get things organized. Or more to the point, in getting your head on straight. Okay, now from where I'm sitting, I've got that there. Right up here, I've got my financial goal, which is I have legally attained a minimum of $2,000 by 11/59, March 31st of 2021. That $2,000 refers to what it cost me to run my household. Okay. And then, of course, on the wall behind me, you can see the thermostat up there, right about there. Okay. That's my business license sitting right next to it. So I can see where everything is sitting. And, of course, I've got stuff over here. But The idea, success boils down to this. You got to understand in your mind what you see as success. Now, the reality is, I'm a bit reclusive. I spend most of my time at home. Okay. I do have one restaurant I go to. And of course, the important factor here from my standpoint is on top of everything I'm doing here, a lot of the information I've got is literally written in its already imprinted form. Okay. And if you look at the bottom of the videos, you'll find a list of different publications that I've already got in print. You'll find a list of contact places to get a hold of me. So if you have questions or if you've got concerns, drop me a line. I'll be happy to address them as best I can. I will not guarantee I'll get to all of them, but absolutely I will do my best. I keep reaching over here. It's about time I did. You know, it really boils down to one step at a time. But the fact of the matter is that by doing what I've been doing, it helps me keep things organized. It helps me get things moving forward. Thus far, it has worked out very well. Well, that, unfortunately, I can't reach, so that'll have to wait. But it can go over there out of my way. Yes, I putter a fair chunk, even while I'm sitting here. Okay. Get straight in your own head what you see as success. For me, success boils down to this: eliminating all of the extra junk that I no longer require. Now you'll notice up on my shelf up there, just up on this side. Okay, that red box, that's got all the paints in it that I do the figures with. Okay, and some of the critters that I end up painting, you'll recognize. Like, I like this one. Okay, whoop, fall down. This one I'll be starting tomorrow, I think. T-Rex. All the figures that I've got aren't necessarily oddball. This is the other one I'm sure you people, especially any of your kids, will recognize. That's your Triceratops. So, we will be painting those, not necessarily the way most people think, but the way that we desire them done. And again, it's just another way to get things sorted around. Okay, today, while we were doing a number of other things, even though we were working on the phone, which boils down to when the phone rings, we have to answer it. In between calls, we managed to edit 11 pages, okay, of the writing we've been doing. One for the compendium, which is the Yldrbacian series that we're writing. The compendium is the list of all the characters in it. We're going through it right now. We went through, I think, 6 pages of that, checking characters, making sure we've got all of the ones that we can. See, the Birth of the Wolfpack is already in print. Okay, but it's the one we're building that we're going through right now to pull the information for the compendium, which will come out at the end of it all. And of course, the end of an epic, which is the sequel, we're in the middle of tying off. Okay, and we're about 2/3 of the way through the edit on the expanding edit on that. Okay, so we got about 11 pages there done, which for us was absolutely great. We don't like sitting doing nothing, in case you couldn't tell by the number of different projects we got on the go. But we get bored easily. So, what we've got to do at this point is stay straight. Now, we've got an idea. We're going to, for us, you know, for me, it really boils down to this. The books, now, fortunately, my overhead is really, really low. Yours, if you're running a business, is not necessarily going to be low. But even running a household, I have a remarkably low overhead. Okay, I only require, quite frankly, about $2,000 a month to run my entire house. Food, rent, utilities, phone, insurance, all of that. Okay, but I can do it relatively easy at this point because by following the steps that I did, okay, I ended up being debt-free. At this point, all I've got is current expenses that I have to keep an eye on. And the reality is, the first 3 months of the year, I've gone through a lot of money that came in, starting next week, as in the first of April, I will be putting absolute focus on driving my overall bank balance for retirement through the roof. That's where I'm aiming. Okay, now get an idea in your head of what you desire to accomplish. That, where it comes to success, you're the only person on the planet that can do it. You can get all the input from other people that you desire, but I do caution you: if you're going to talk to somebody about how to do something, make sure you talk to somebody that has done it successfully. Okay, this is why when I talk about publishing, when I talk about my writing methods, my publishing, my finances, I have successfully brought them under control. Okay, so absolutely, this is why I focus the way I do. Okay, because frankly, it works. The reality is, yes, we get sidetracked, but what the heck? We're just taking a look at this thing because, well, while we're doing that, we want to make notes. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm bouncing all over the place here as far as mobility goes. But think of it this way. Okay, at least I'm not sitting here just kind of going, well, this is the way it is and you should pay attention. Because I'll tell you, talking monotone has a real bad habit of driving people absolutely bored. Okay, so what I'm looking at this point, tomorrow I've got a number of things I have to get done. Okay, a couple of phone calls that have to be made. And like I've mentioned before, okay, absolutely imperative, this funny little list. Okay, and I've showed it to you before. I keep this pad, and of course, when I'm done a page, I just tear it off and toss it into the recycling bin. Yes, I could technically use the computer, but I tend to forget about that. And I'm completely hooped if I'm using the computer to do this on a regular basis and I have a power failure. Okay, right now it's real simple for me. I've got a very simple very simple philosophy in mind. Oh, by the way, especially for those of you that pay attention to the alien side of things, okay, the aliens, the off-worlders, on the first Friday of every month, I am on Spaced Out Radio on the internet. Okay, spacedoutradio.com. Okay, you'll find me on Spreaker, you'll find me on Facebook. Okay, at the ET Connection. You'll also find me on YouTube all over the place. Okay, join me there for your questions. If you've got questions, if you've got experiences that you desire to understand, give me a buzz. I'm more than happy to talk to you. As things open up and speaking engagements arise, I will attend live events given the invitation, and of course, transportation available. Travel times available. Okay, but the goals that I basically have is this: for me to reach what I consider successful. First of all, we'll try English on that one. First of all, I am focusing on driving my income through my business up over the $2,000 a month mark so that I am able to sustain that in perpetuity. In other words, forever, at least as far as my life goes. Okay, that's where my focus is. For me to be successful, I'll have that on the go. I'll have my health running properly. I will eventually get rid of these things altogether. Okay, that's just the way that is. So, from that standpoint, we are looking at a number of things. Okay, now we're going to do something we usually don't do. We're going to pause this and hope we don't screw it up. Well, the last time we tried that, we didn't actually screw it up, it turned out, so we did it again. We have to when we need to. Mind you, it was only like a minute or two break, but that being said, we are back. When you get an idea in your head of what you desire to do, now, this is going to cause all kinds of interesting side effects. For those of you that are trying to figure out, well, I don't know what I want to do with my life and I'm getting older, I was supposed to have it organized by the time I was 20, scrap the thought. I've been doing my work as a consultant for 45 years now. And I can tell you from the number of people I've talked to, the average person does not have their life in order. They don't have a clue what they want to do when they're older, on the whole, until they're in their late 40s, early 50s. Okay, I'll be 58 in a month and a half here. Okay, I think it's a month and a half. Yeah, today's the 23rd, so pretty much. And I only just figured out exactly what I desire to be doing. Writing, public speaking. These videos, it's turned out, have been absolutely enjoyable. And I do look forward to reaching more and more people on many different fronts. Do we get conflicts? Do we get people going, what the heck? You bet. I do not think like most people. You get, anyway, you will likely get to understand that eventually. These are live recordings, meaning I do not go back and edit them. This is just who I am. Okay. So once you get an idea of where you desire to go, make sure of one thing. The path you're going down is the one you personally desire to head down. Not necessarily the one that everybody else says, oh, that's the best path for you. You should really do that. Or worse, don't get into that industry because it's a terrible industry. You don't make money at it. I'll tell you, I have been told by hundreds of people, don't go into writing. You will not make money at it. Nobody ever does. Take a look at some of the premier authors out there. Okay. You take a look at George Lucas. Take a look at Stephen King. Like, they didn't make any money, right? And you know what the difference is between them and me? Okay, aside from they're multimillionaires, I think, at this point. They had to start out with their first writings as well. George Lucas didn't start out a mainstream, movie director or movie producer. He started out on the bottom end. Okay, and everybody in any industry starts out at the bottom end, or pretty much. Yes, there are those few golden, the so-called lucky kids, the ones that get started off at the top because mom and dad did the job and then drop them into it. But I will tell you this, from the ones that I've talked to that have ended up in that position, they would have been happier working their way up the ladder than they are just being handed it. It's kind of like I've talked to a lot of kids where they go, a parent that is strict, not over strict, but a parent that is strict is far more enjoyable and far more appreciated than the one that is a pushover and says, go and do whatever you please. Okay. When you're dealing with waitresses, one thing to keep in mind, of course, karmic law is pretty cut and dried. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. So if you desire to be treated decently, treat the people you deal with decently. The most powerful word in the spoken language for any communication is the person's word or the person's name. In my opinion, that is the thing that really does get people's attention. You call them by their name, okay, not by some sort of a term of endearment, unless they happen to be your boyfriend or girlfriend. At which point, calling them an endearing name is actually usually acceptable. But from my standpoint, it really boils down to this. Once I've got the cash flow I desire, which boils down to enough money coming in that I don't have to worry ever again. My finances can come in, my bills can get paid, and I can go to sleep and go, my money's making money. That would be ideal. Not that I ever sleep. Like I'll go to bed as soon as I've done this video, which is, well, I'm about halfway through the video now. When I get the video finished, I will post it and probably go to bed right away, and then 4 hours later I'll be back up and at it again. And we'll see how that goes. But I just don't sleep a whole lot. This does not necessarily mean it's a good thing. Get the idea in your head. Whatever you desire to do, whatever it is, as long as you can stand up and proudly tell people, I did this, then you're probably on a good path. Okay. Now there are times that you don't want to do that. Like obviously if you're putting a surprise together for somebody, standing up and telling them ahead of time that you did that, not a wise move. Okay. I have personally already got about half of my Christmas already bought and paid for, and most of it's wrapped. Because frankly, it's not that I look at Christmas and go, I don't like it. It's actually, it doesn't save me any money to do it this way. As a matter of fact, it usually costs me more. But what it does do is it gets the stress of it out of the way and kills the damage to the pocketbook at the end of the year. These are all things that I look at as making as my being successful. And I'll tell you, having cleared the debt load up, okay, I am a whole lot more relaxed. Okay, I do run into problems periodically. Organization being one of them in my eyes. It's not quite as smooth as I'd like, but I think I need another table down here, a little longer, so I've got a little more room to work. But hey, what the heck? It's kind of like I've got a printer sitting right here. Unfortunately, I can't get the thing to connect to my computer. I do not know why, but then I am not exactly what we call technologically advanced. Now that said, give me a holographic interface, I'm quite content with them. Okay, it really boils down to getting an idea of how you desire your life to go, what you're aiming at, and again, where it comes to the people you've got around you or the people you deal with. Okay, you make absolute certain that you're being true to you first. Now, I'm the last person to talk to about diplomatic, about saying things politically correctly or being, diplomatic. Okay, I'm me. That's the way that is. Okay, now again, with regards to this list of tasks to do, okay, it really boils down to make sure you get, like, you only require really 3 on it. When you get one finished, check it off and carry on. Okay, write another one down. In my case, I'm usually, I've got for tomorrow morning, this list has got, it literally has half a dozen things to start my day off. Okay. That way, when I get up in the morning, I can walk in here, double check, go, what do I got on my list? There it is. Okay, and when I get something done, check that off, then I'll add something to the list. I could add a whole pile more to my list, but quite frankly, it usually backfires. I get caught up in it. When you're setting your tasks out, make the jobs 15 minutes to half an hour in length. Okay, and the reason for that is because it's easier to do a small job, and then you'll get a whole list of little jobs done, and when you add them up, you can go, gee, I got a lot done today, instead of putting big lists together, big jobs together, and not getting them finished. Then you go, I didn't get anything accomplished, or that's what it feels like. And again, it really boils down to an interesting situation. Okay, knowing what you see as success is not what I see as success. It's what is successful for you. In my case, I intend on driving my business through the 3 venues that I've got: publications, public speaking, okay, and writing. Well, my apologies. That would be the publications and writing, I guess, are the same thing. The consulting, the publications, and the public speaking. That's where I'm heading. Okay, now that's kind of an odd goal when you think about it, considering the fact that I've basically been a recluse for the last 10 years. But I had a lot of requests from people to get the video series up and running. And I know the few conventions I've gone and spoken at, I've thoroughly enjoyed. The travel I don't enjoy. I do it because it gets me to wherever the speaking engagement is. I get very stressed on travel. Okay, but This is a question of deciding what I'm aiming for or what I feel is success. And the tools that I'm giving you are, quite frankly, the ones I personally use to make headway. Okay, this is why I say when you desire to accomplish something, take the time to talk to somebody that's done it successfully. Okay, for instance, if you desire to get debt free, talking to somebody that hasn't gone there or hasn't guided somebody else there, quite frankly, isn't going to help. Okay, at least not as well as you might think. If you're talking to a financial advisor, make sure that the financial advisor, that they themselves, if you're aiming to be debt free, talking to a financial advisor that is not debt free says regardless of their education, they have not followed through for one reason or another. If they're not debt free, ask them why. Okay. Do your due diligence. Check with the credentials of whoever you're talking to, whether they've got a degree or don't. In my case, rest assured, I don't have a degree. Okay. But I have got things moving in the direction. In case you couldn't tell, take a look at some of my older videos. My energy level, my energy level is way down, my stress level is way up here. Right about now, here we are. I've been up since, well, actually, I got up late today. I think, I was up at, I think, 3:30. Something like that. But I am still running very solid right now. Okay. And like I said, we are now pushing 10:30 at night. So my energy level is running rather nicely. I was supposed to pick up potassium today. Quite frankly, because I don't like muscle cramps, and from what I've been told. Now, understand, I am not a doctor. Okay, but from what I've been told, potassium apparently will help keep the muscle cramps to a minimum. Okay, not bad. When I was just getting off work half an hour ago, I was, quite frankly, I was really nearing the end of my energy level. Gotten in here I hate that word. Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't know why. But I got to doing this video, and my energy is running really high. I probably won't pack it in for a while as a result. I was thinking as soon as I got done the video, I was going to pack it in. But anyway, that said, we are reaching the end of the half-hour mark. Okay, so again, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and absolutely, check out the back videos. Until we talk again tomorrow, which ought to be in about 6 hours if I do this right. But I will be back tomorrow. Okay, until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.